Hey everybody, this is TJR, and right now it's time to do a review of FirePower. This is the 18th studio album by Judas Priest. 18th, yeah. It's also, from what I've just read, their highest charting album ever, debuting at number 5 on the Billboard Top 200, which I do hope will send a message to the music industry that folks still want to hear metal written and performed by well-trained musicians who know their craft. I can actually remember being a teenager and hearing Breaking the Law for the first time. I remember it was one of those, wow, who are these guys kind of moments. And I remember I was watching one of those late night local station music video shows. This was back in the days when, if you wanted to watch videos, you had to stay up late and watch these local shows. As soon as I could, I went out and bought British Steel. And that was probably maybe some 28 years ago, who knows? One of the reasons why I've always liked Judas Priest so much more than a lot of the bands that followed them was, for me, it was always clear listening to them that they grew up listening to and playing more than just one genre of music. And I think this has always served them well in the songwriting department. Too many of the bands that followed Judas Priest or were influenced by them sounded like all they ever listened to and played was metal. I guess you could say the same thing about Van Halen as well. Starting right off with the album's opening track, FirePower, Judas Priest demonstrates what has always served them so well. Crunchy, aggressive guitar riffs, operatic metal vocals, sonic speed but still melodic and oftentimes harmonized guitar solos that are utilizing classical musical modes. In other words, everything that we have come to love about Judas Priest. And with Rob Halford's operatic metal vocals, there are these over-the-top lyrical themes about dark places, apocalyptic visions, ideas taken from old Hammer horror films, sword and sorcery fantasy, and comic books. Those who like Judas Priest at their most aggressive, I think, will be very happy with this album. They come out of the gate, they hit the ground running, and by and large, they do not let up. However, unlike Mozart in the film Amadeus, Judas Priest does know that sometimes there are only so many notes that the human ear can hear in the course of an evening, so they always take a moment to cool their jets and give us maybe a slower build-up or breakdown on songs like Never the Heroes, and on the album's closing track, Sea of Red, which might very well be their swan song. And I always kind of keep this in mind, that this might be the last Judas Priest album. I'm hoping it's not, but you never know. There's always a chance this could be the swan song album. There's even a cool instrumental entitled Guardians, which actually starts out as piano-driven, kind of a unique thing, and sounds like it could be even a theme to some unannounced Marvel superhero film. As I listened to this album, I found myself thinking about the last Judas Priest album that I purchased, which was Nostradamus, which I really loved. Loved seeing them get, really big and bold and artistic with that one. They really stretched themselves on that album, and they did kind of touch back on some of their earlier, more metal progressive roots in albums like Sad Wings of Destiny. But I was kind of hoping, because of that, I was kind of hoping that on this album they might pull out a few more stops, but they're keeping it pretty just heavy, crunchy, aggressive, solid, built for speed songs. And, nothing wrong with that, but just not a whole lot of surprises. Probably Guardians the biggest surprise because it has that piano-based intro that starts it off there. And once again, I'm not saying that FirePower isn't a good album. It is a solidly good, consistent metal album from track to track. I sometimes hear back and forth bickering on the internet about, what is metal, what is not metal. Some have criticized Judas Priest for maybe sounding too commercial. I don't think Judas Priest sounds so much commercial as it's just simply this is metal written and performed by musicians who have a good sense of songwriting craft, who clearly have heard other types of genres of music that they've allowed to, seep into their subconscious and help enrich their songwriting process, and who really know how to play their instruments and really well. And I've always gravitated more towards those type of musical artists, no matter what genre they're doing. So naturally, I'm going to like metal by Priest than other bands that I think haven't really absorbed anything other than metal. And who knows, since this might be their last album, I think I should really state here for the record that, in my opinion, Rob Halford is not only one of the best metal singers, but one of the best singers in rock. I mean, his range, his versatility, I personally put him right up there with some of the best rock singers ever, like Freddie Mercury and Robert Plant. I still kind of wish that maybe they'd pulled out a few little surprises that maybe we weren't expecting, but, I can't complain too much. Just like AC/DC, Judas Priest is a band who knows how to do what they do extremely well. And if this is the band's swan song album, which I'm hoping it isn't, they've certainly gone out on a good note. This is TJR. So, did you hear this album? What did you think? Please let me know in the comments. Looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye.